Tatis is a southern tamandua, or a lesser anteater. But there is nothing lesser about Tatis. That is just based on his size compared to the greater anteaters. Now, just like his name implies, what does he eat? Ants. But here he's enjoying some waxworms, some tasty mealworms. Does anyone like to feast on any of those? No. What if you mix some avocado in there? Well, a little bit better, right? This is California after all. But Tatis is showing off that different coloration I was talking about. So there's that contrast of that light color and that dark black, looks like a vest. That helps him stand out under the moonlight so he can warn predators that he might be dangerous. And if you're looking at him and wondering, how in the world is that dangerous? Look at those claws. Those of you in the front row can see those claws are about that long. So those are designed to dig into those termite mounds or those ant hills, which could be as thick as cement. That's pretty tough. So he doesn't have the same sort of teeth that we do. So that's because he doesn't need teeth to chew. He has a, she is a Toko toucan. She has to rouse first, so she has to get nice and presentable before she comes out. Great job, Ruta. So Toko toucans are the largest species of toucan, and I love talking about that really long beak that she has. So that's her way of collecting different fruit, and what you'll see in a second is a cool way that toucans will pair bond. Good job, Ruta. Not that there's any grapes falling out of the sky out in the Amazon, right? But Ruta has that beak that she's really dexterous with, so she can collect fruit as she's climbing around the canopy. Now, she can't fly, but she's designed to hop around branches since that keeps her a little bit safer, since she does make quite a bit of sound while she's flying, right? And she also has that bright beak, so that helps her really stand out. So what she's going to do is sit pretty still, high up in a canopy, look like a piece of fruit, and she can even tuck her beak into her wings to blend in even more, because that black and white looks kind of like the shading on the top of a canopy, right? Now these are cavity nesters. Those of you on the right side saw her come out of that cavity over there. So that is where they lay their eggs, and they will actually encase themselves, so there's only room for that beak to go in and out. So the female will sit on the eggs, raise the offspring, and when they're ready to come out, they will open up that cavity, and out will come the toucan. Now, if we want to continue seeing all these...
Just their incredibly strong stomach acid. They're able to digest things as strong as rabies, cholera, botulism, so many different diseases, and they help keep those ecosystems so healthy. That's why I love having vultures. How about you, Rachel?
I absolutely love vultures. Like Adam mentioned, they are such an important part of our ecosystem because they can remove a lot of nasty stuff. Now, black vultures have a stomach, their pH in their stomach is at 0. So that's comparable to battery acid. So she can break down just about anything between rabies, anthrax, botulism, cholera, a whole bunch of nasty stuff. But what's really special about these scavengers is they eat all of that rotting material, right? So it keeps our environment nice and safe. If you look to our hillside, you can see a skeleton out there, and that's because scavengers have been around. So they're taking away all of that rotting material so we can go hiking and not worry about, collecting a lot of parasites and bacteria, right? As she is hopping across our presentation today, so it's always my favorite part, vultures tend to hang out in big flocks, so Daisy likes to look at us as her flock, but she is heading on out to look for some carcasses elsewhere, but I know we love talking about our
feet. From the right side of our stadium, please welcome
Denny's going to go in front of you, toward the other side.
And they're going to be using those broad wings, just like Daisy, to soar through the skies. It's a pretty great sight, right? Wow. And as they're soaring along, they're catching heat thermals, rising columns of hot air that help buoy them along so they don't have to flap their wings for miles as they're using that incredible sense of smell to find their food. And they might be wondering, what can I do to help vultures? Or condors?
There is Wiley, who is a white-nosed coati. Has anyone here ever seen a coati before? A couple of yeah, you can raise your hand. Yeah, we see, if you're in Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, you might see one. It's not a stretched-out raccoon, but they are related to raccoons. That is not one. That is a common raven. But they're also opportunistic eaters. Wiley wants to say, this is my space. You're not taking any of my food. But coatis are able to rotate their ankles 180 degrees, so they can climb pretty well. When he climbs down, I want you to watch. Yeah, see the way he's able to go face forward. So coatis are opportunistic eaters, so anything that he's going to find, whether that be birds' eggs, reptiles, insects, just about anything. But their ability to climb and find food in tricky places is one of their specialties. So as he pulls that up, I know, isn't that amazing? But Wiley here, being an omnivore, so like I said, he's going to be eating just about anything. I think ravens are included on that list. So I don't know. But Wiley here does have that mask on his face, the banding on his tail, very reminiscent of raccoons, right? So Wiley has a great sense of smell, and one thing that these types of animals will do over in Costa Rica is actually be pollinators. So they'll go from flower to flower, spreading around that pollen, much like the birds and the bees do here, doing us a great service by spreading that plant life. But that was a great look at Wiley and our common raven.
We've actually had a surprise waiting for you for all this bird time in flight. Now, Harris hawks, just like we mentioned with Winslow earlier, they are found here in the Southwest, but they also travel all the way down to South America as well. And they live in flocks of up to about 7 birds. And living in those flocks of up to 7 birds, they actually work together to find their food, earning them the nickname, the wolves of the sky. So let's see if Spike's ready to hunt. Wow!
I could watch that all day. If any of you are recording that, I want you to watch it back in slow-mo, because usually they'll flip upside down, grab it with those talons. But these birds are incredible. But unfortunately, due to habitat loss, we are slowly seeing them leave our state here in California and around the Southwest. So something we could do to help continue to see these birds out in our desert scapes is really visiting national parks. So by visiting, you are showing your support. That way the rangers, biologists, the EMTs, all the folks that dedicate their life to the national parks can continue taking care of it. That way these birds will continue to have those saguaro cactuses in particular that they use for hunting and for nesting as well. So I don't know about you all, I love seeing Harris's hawks, especially since they tend to be a sigil of the desert scapes. But Spike is going to look for opportunities elsewhere. That was a great look at Spike, but I do believe
that helps him find his food. This one got a Thatcher, our milky eagle owl. Now, milky eagle owls are an apex predator of the nighttime skies in Africa. They're going to be eating pretty much whatever they can fit in those talons of theirs, which can grip over 350 pounds of pressure on the tips of those talons. So incredibly strong grip that doesn't get tired. So once they grab onto their food, they hold on to it nice and tight and make sure that they can keep a nice grip on it. Now, as Thatcher is flying, you might notice you don't really hear him flapping his wings at all. That's actually another one of those adaptations that makes it very easy for him to sneak up on his prey. His feathers have these little tiny ridges on the very edges that make it almost completely silent when he flies. So we're going to do one more flight back across the stadium in just 1 second to see just how silent they can be. And as he's flying, you might notice he's still listening, keeping an eye out for things, but let's go ahead and see if we can hear Thatcher while he's flying. Work up bird time here. Thatcher, that's your cue. Now, Thatcher is very alert. Gonna grab onto his food, yeah.
It says big talents.
They're close. They're close. The sciencey word.
We'll take talents. We'll use them. Okay, should we make room for other people? Bye-bye, Owl.
Is he the same size as a great horned owl?
He's actually quite a bit bigger.
Bigger.
Female great horns, I believe, get up to about 1,500 grams, and he's about 16 to 17.